You're watching Drake Wing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Ever here from Drake Wing Gaming. It's something on Twitter, the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you with a Let's Play episode of Polar Night. So y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. We were on... that one, right there, okay. Figures. As everyone dispersed, I found myself unsure of what to do. I had not had a chance to really take in the Sylvia last night, so I figured I might as well have a look around. I pulled out the handbook I'd been given. Facilities all looked kind of bare. The gym looked like a generic cabin with some weight benches and exercise bikes thrown in. The sauna looked okay, but that was obviously out of the question. Besides, I hate intense heat. The cinema kind of looked like a common room someone had thrown some chairs and a projector in, but I guess it might be nice to take in a movie in the evening. I had to remind myself that this wasn't a holiday and we weren't here to have the time of our lives. The fact we even had these facilities, basic as they were, there was a search for something to be grateful for, I suppose. Where do I go? Some air on the deck. A sudden cold sent a shiver through me. It was even colder than last night. I could hear the engine now, clearly, a soft hum just audible over the wind. What hit me the most was just how calm it was. The wind was stronger than when we'd been in port. The sea was still. Around us, periodic ice floes floated briskly by. The sound of a familiar, enthusiastic voice broke the spell. I looked over to the bow and saw Stefan and Tabby. Stefan had his camera raised, snapping shots of the ocean and the moon. He paused every other shot to gesticulate and chatter. Tabby was nodding along, staring out at the view. My hand reached for my pocket, fumbling through it for a moment, my heart jumping a bit as I couldn't find my smokes. My hand closed around the pack and I sighed with relief. As I'd done more times than I'd ever like to admit, I pulled a cig from the pack with my teeth, flicked my lighter and drew. Familiar warmth filled me, followed by a pang of guilt. I knew this was terrible for me. I knew Mum hated it. But it never ceased to amaze me just how quickly all reason and logic flew out the window when the drive hit. Hey, Garrett! Exhaling and silently swearing that next time would be the one where I quit for the 50th time this week, I sauntered toward them, boots crunching the light dusting of snow and ice. Ugh, sorry, y'all, I got up not that long ago. Stefan was just telling me how to line up the perfect shot. Oh? He hasn't tried telling you about distant origins yet? I gave the opossum a smirk and he made a dismissive motion with his hand. What are you even taking pictures of? It's dark, I'm in the middle of the ocean. Don't you see it? Oh, the way the sea is so still, and the way the moon reflects little dots of ice. He told it when all he got back was a pair of us giving him skeptical looks. Philistines. Stefan snapped a few more pictures before lowering his camera. He peered at the screen on the rear, examining his photos. First lighters, how photography. Oh yeah, plenty of coffee for me this morning, y'all. I gave Stefan a nudge as I sidled up to him. What? What's wrong with having interests? Lighters? Yeah, he knows about as much as my lighter as I do. What's there to know? A lighter's a lighter, right? I pulled my lighter out of my pocket to show her. Belonged to my grandpa. Not a common lighter these days. The sky. I nodded at him and drawing a cheeky know-it-all smirk. Knew it immediately. Kind of scary when you think about it. Hey! I smirked at his wounded look. He responded by rolling his eyes and going back to examine the photos on his camera. This one's good. This one, nah. He browsed the images on his camera, discarding the ones that didn't meet his approval. Alex wanted me to continue my photography. I'll bet he'll be sick of seeing sights like this by now, though. My eyes darted to Tabby. I knew very well now how she felt about this business. To my surprise, Stefan seemed to realize what he'd said and gave an apologetic look. Oh, sorry, Tabby. I know you, aren't convinced. Tabby gave a dismissive wave. It's fine. You don't have to justify yourself. Huh, she really was in a better mood today. Alex must mean the world to you. Though looking brighter, he still had a wistful look. Yeah, he does. Since I was 8, he basically took care of me. You mentioned that yesterday. He must be quite a bit older than you if he was your guardian. He's 4 years older than me. When our parents died, he went into foster care. He sighed, switching his camera off and turned and leaned against the railing. Foster parents were great, don't get me wrong, but Alex wanted to get as far away from Vancouver where we grew up as he could. as quickly as he could. So as soon as he turned 18, he applied to become my legal guardian. Then he got a job as a chief in Ottawa, and we moved. He basically raised me alone from the age of 14 onwards until, well... He looked away, hugging himself, his tail curled this way and that. I'm so sorry, Stefan. He sounds like a wonderful person. He paused a moment, clearly struggling. I had to move back to Vancouver to stay with my foster parents when the Iran went missing. He was sending me a stipend from his salary, and without it, well, I couldn't afford to live alone. He gazed into the middle distance, trailing off, maybe reminiscing. Damn, no wonder he was so attached to Alex. But enough about me! In a flash, his grin was back, taking us both by surprise. Enough sad stuff. What about you, Tabby? Me? She seemed taken completely off guard by a sudden question. Gail said you were studying mechanics, right? She settled, biting her lower lip in thought. Yeah, Clark Uni. I work in a garage part-time, too. I admit I was surprised. Tabby didn't strike me as a gearhead, although the more I thought about it, I didn't know what a gearhead would look like. I wondered if I struck anyone as a Sparky. What would a stereotypical Sparky look like? My mind was filled with images of a mad scientist types in some static electric frazzled fur and wearing goggles. That's neat. Know your way around an engine, then. A bit. Despite her vague answer, her demeanor shifted. She smiled more, making her eye contact and uncrossing her arms. Seemed to be found one of her preferred topics. Always loved fixing things. Gail was always the people-pleaser. The ship might need you the way things are going. Yeah, definitely leaving a one-star review. Me and Stefan exchanged looks, not sure how far to press. Look, I know you both know, okay? Gail isn't as subtle as she thinks. I do appreciate you asking if I was okay, Garrett, and I'm not ungrateful for you guys coming to check on me, but it's not something I want to talk about, okay? Of course. I understand. That said... She had a thoughtful look, staring back at the Sylvia's lounge. I am pretty sure functioning emergency lights are a legal requirement for ships. That's what I was thinking! And this morning the heating was off. Oh, I know that. I heard Garrett make the discovery himself. He gave me a toothy grin and Tabby smirked. Hey! To be fair, I think everyone heard Garrett. Oh, fuck you guys. They both chuckled as they burned with embarrassment, although I admit it was nice to see them getting along. Tabby especially. What got you into mechanics, then, if you don't mind my asking? Tabby thought for a moment. I guess Dad did. He taught me how to fix my bike when the chain came off when I was a kid. I guess it just clicked. Something nice about fixing something. The way it can go from being a useless object back to working order. Wish I had skill like that. Nothing's stopping you. Wrong voice, okay. Nothing's stopping you. We lapsed into silence, gazing out over the sea. My hand moved automatically, placed the smoke between my lips as I drew again. Tabby gave me a withering look. Good thing Gail isn't here to see you. She'd probably swipe them from you. I'll bear that in mind. I offered her a smile as I finished, stubbing it out on the bulwark. I'm gonna go take a few more shots. Alex might not appreciate this view, but I do. Well, I need some warmth. As you so generously pointed out. I gave the pair of them a faux accusatory look. I've had my fill of the cold for one day. Don't act like you're pissed with us, Garrett. We see right through you. Stefan snorted and Tabby gave me a smirk. I blinked, confused before I realized they were watching my tail. It was swaying behind me and I hadn't even realized. Traitor. I huffed, gave them a wave, and strolled back towards the lounge. Although I admit I had a bit of a spring in my step. Where do I go? The gym. Pump and iron. The gym was located near the cabins, also conveniently near the sauna and laundry. Even before I opened the door, I could hear the clanging of metal on metal. As I stepped inside, the first thing that struck me was how cramped it was. There was a bench press, some free weights, a bike machine, and an elliptical trainer. The air was slightly thick with the scent of the other two occupants. Not unpleasant, but it did make me pause for a moment. Oh, God. Ah, there's the twink himself. Good boy. Come to ascend to the heady heights of beefcake? Rufus was standing on it before a barbell on the floor, apparently in preparation to lift. Aaron was sitting on the bench doing bicep curls. They were both in their underwear. Easy, Garrett. My hand tugged at my fringe once again, and I pulled my sleeve down on my right wrist, making sure the scars there were covered. Remembering how they had seen my skinny wreck of a body made me blush furiously into my fur, and for a moment I hesitated, debating whether to leave and try somewhere else. Get your skinny ass in here. Come on in, Garrett. I promise we won't bite. The part of me that was recalling all those eyes in my body made me want to bolt, but the part of me that didn't want to humiliate myself by bolting at a bit of teasing won. Barely. I stepped inside, standing awkwardly by the door as Rufus squatted, grabbing the barbell and slowly standing upright. He grunted, his face serious and concentrating as he performed deadlifts. I didn't know much about exercise, as my bony frame could attest, but I assumed his smooth, fluid movements were perfect form. Aaron, for his part, continued his bicep curls, grunting and counting under his breath until he reached 10 before placing the weight on the padded floor. Before you ask, we didn't bring gym clothes, so this is the next best thing. And not like there's loads of people here to see us anyway. 10. With a grunt, Rufus lowered the barbell back to the floor. Whew, nothing like working up a sweat in the morning. How about you, Garrett? Want to give it a try? I didn't hear him at first. On account of my skin being on fire and my heart racing, I could feel my tail already swaying, and it took all my might to make it stop. At least don't wag like crazy. He strode over to me, taking me by the shoulders and hustling me over the barbell before I could protest. I want to take those off. He indicated my clothes with a gesture. Imagine you'll be sweating up a storm in no time. Maybe I was shaking a little. The moment he raised the possibility of stripping off, the vague, embarrassed warmth in my skin turned to cold dread, and I pulled away from him. You okay? I was just kidding. You don't need to do nothing you don't want to. Aaron looked a little concerned, cocking his head as he sensed my distress. No, it's fine. I'm sorry. I just don't like my mind seized up as I tried to say being naked. Easy. I'm real sorry for pushing you. He took a respectful step away. A part of me was grateful. A certain wistfulness remained as his hand stopped touching me. He reminded me of someone, at least in build and species, who I'd seen in school as a teen. An older lad, keen footballer. He transferred early in 6th year. I'd already discovered my bisexuality, and I knew very well I could not ever allow it to be discovered. The bullying was bad enough, but knowing I was into guys and also sharing a locker room would likely make me a pariah. But still, even though conservatives weren't personally to my taste, it was the first time I'd seen a guy in real life who'd made my heart race like that. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon or YouTube memberships if you can. It always helps. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!